I can ask you many things about e-commerce and influence and all this sort of stuff, but I'm curious to get your perspective on what's going to happen with the economy. Like, I mean, because you've got a perspective from what's going on in your world, and I guess I'm curious because that sort of, it does fit into hospitality, but it doesn't. It's still like retail e-commerce. It's still baked or edible goods. What are you noticing about how people are engaging you at the moment? Are you getting a lot of demand in comparison to last year?
Yes, so it dramatically increased. Even when would we say pre-COVID?
I reckon pre-COVID is anywhere before Australia Day.
Right, so you think, okay.
Yeah, because this is an interesting point. I had a debate with an insurer and I had to take them to the regulator because they wouldn't pay out our insurance policy because of a wedding in May because they believed it was known by the January 25th.
Right. See, in my business, it wasn't that. It was COVID was like after. So I'm always really busy in Easter, and that was so that was back in. So March was a huge month for me.
So you reckon pre-March?
Yeah. Okay. But March included, so pre-April.
Yeah.
Probably. And then April was like, yeah, I'll keep going, keep grinding. And then I was like, I can't get any supplies. What am I meant to do? Blah, blah, blah. But then I've been out of physical work for about 2 months now. So it's hard for me to say what it's going to be like coming back. I'm confident in my products and in my business ethic and personality that I will still have those contacts and I will still have those loyal customers. I also, there's customers that I've lost because they were so pissed off. So you're just going to get those people. So that's fine, whatever.
Yeah. But it's not good. You feel in your heart that it's not going to go to zero.
No. I feel like, if anything, I am like, I had a mental breakdown that came to a breakthrough and I've been able to reassess my business plan and I'm just going about it a different way now. And I think you just have to adapt to what is happening. And what I wanted to do before is not necessarily the path that I'm going down. You just have to, you get to a crossroad. And I'm a Capricorn, so I do take calculated risks, I think. And I'm very business-minded, but I can also be a bit airy-fairy and be like, oh, let's go down this track or like spend this money. And it's like, no, you have to be smart about what you do and not... I'm also quite, I feel like I've got I can be hot-headed, but I can be smart about things and not invest all my money into something.
Yeah.
I just try and go about things at a slower pace because I also feel like startups, if you invest too early with a lot of money, you can lose that money very quickly.
Yeah, you're done.
It's like gambling.
That basically, like, running a startup, I feel, is like, just removing as many risks as possible.
Yeah.
And like some of those risks can be like operational risk, like literally that, or it could be supply chain risk, like moving from one supplier to another, like with the eggs. So it's little things like that. And I agree. I think we've had that too. And I feel like COVID, for at least our generation of entrepreneurs, could be a really good lesson.
It's a great lesson for existing entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
If someone came to me and was like, I want to start a cake business, at any time I would say, really? Do you really want to start a cake business? Like, do you understand how stressful it is? Maybe you should just go work for someone. Yeah. Because getting a salary is like, oh, that is a piece of cake.
It is. It's a lot easier.
But then I'd also say, yes, for existing entrepreneurs, it's been a great lesson and it's actually a time for everyone to slow down.
Yeah.
Physically, mentally, everything, and reassess what you're doing and look at what is selling the most, what is the most important to your core values of a business. And just look at that and see if you're actually on that path. And like, if you're not, then you have the chance to revisit it. But if someone said to me in COVID, I want to start this business, I'd say COVID is a terrible time to start.
Don't
start something now.
Yeah, maybe experiment.
Maybe just in 2 to 3 years, just wait. I mean, this is going to take like a good 10 years to... Yeah. I think.
This will be like 2000, like the recession may be shorter.
Yeah.
In terms of time frame, but the recovery will be the same as it always is, which is typically 10 years.
So I think it's just, and if you want to start something, I reckon just seriously have a think. Like, I still wanted to do a pop-up. I found a great location in Hawthorne and then I was so excited, but then I went to my mum and she's like, Now, are you sure? You've just started paying your own rent. This is another, $300 on top of that rent. You've got to really logistically think about this. So I'm glad that I have her because she sort of brings me down.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? The pop-ups, I'm all about the universe and signs and things like that. And I'm like, it's just not meant to be right now. In 2 to 3 years, it will be. I have enough business going on in like the commercial space, the wholesale, the pop-ups that I've got at Top Paddock.
Yeah.
That was a secret, but I'm guessing by the time
Sorry, we can cut it.
No. By the time it's happening on the 4th of July, so this might be out by then.
It'll be fun.
So I've got that. I've got enough on my plate.
Yeah. I think anyone who's been through this period and has sort of recouped everything and like you said, has reevaluated what you're doing, if you can just focus and break even and maybe if you're lucky make a profit in the next 12, 18 months, then you are doing better than the vast majority of people in Australia. I think that there's going to be, like even in our industry, we are, because we're about to hire, the amount of talent that's available. Like I think I was reading the other day, like 30% of the big 4 agencies are let go staff.
Yeah.
So 30% of their workforce is now either underemployed or gone.
Yeah.
And they're not hiring any graduates.
No.
So it's going to be, the next 12 to 18 months is going to be tough, but I look at our scenario for both our different businesses and I have a smile internally knowing that at least we'll be okay creating something else.
I think I will be okay, but I'll just have to test it and see what happens. But obviously there's going to be people that are not going to buy because they don't have as much money and they're not going to buy cookies if you don't have enough money to survive.
But also it's sort of, you should consider this one thing that I was talking about recently with another agency founder. It's called the lipstick effect.
Yeah.
So what often happens during a recession is instead of buying a Celine bag, you may buy some Dior Chanel lipstick.
Oh, yes.
Hence the lipstick effect. So instead of maybe going out for a fancy cake or dinners out or cafes or whatever, maybe you'll decide to buy a nice cake to have at home or cookies to have at home.
And that's exactly why even last year I sort of looked at the business model and I was like, look, this is all made to order, but I'm not going to make a profitable business only doing made to order cakes. There is enough businesses in Melbourne that do that and are very successful at it. I wanted to make a product that is a cheaper product at price point, but still has the quality, the quality, everything that's so it's expensive for the item. It is. So my cookies aren't cheap, but you're paying for that packaging, the branding, my creativity, which also my dad said, do not sell yourself short based on your creativity. There's a lot of people that can make cookies out there, but they don't have the same brain as you. So you've got to keep that into consideration. You pay for everything about it. There's so much love that goes into it. So I just wanted to create some products that were a cheaper price point that the average person can buy, but still think that it's a treat for them and it's very special.